South Texas Amateur Tour Podcast, The Power Hour, with your hosts, Travis Silkowski, Michael Emanuelian, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Brad Gilbert.
Good evening, San Antonio. Good evening, South Texas Amateur Golf Tour. How's everyone doing? My name, it might be MD. I've been known by many names in this world. Hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. It is August 21st. We are here live in my house. You are live wherever you are. And we're here to have a good time. Guys, lots to talk about tonight. There's my boy Scotty, and that DM baby, MD DM, MD don't miss what we're talking about. I hope everyone is having a great week, great Wednesday. We are here tonight. We are going to talk about Lost Pines. We were at Lost Pines last weekend, Greater Hill Country Division's final event of the season, stroke play event at Lost Pines in Bastrop. We have a new top 10 where we will announce and crown the winner of the first official season of the Greater Hill Country. We will talk a little bit about the Greater Hill Country playoffs happening at TPC San Antonio. And then we'll jump in. We're going to talk a little bit about Brack. Pretty okay conditions. We've got Brack. We've got Northern Hills Alt Shot coming up. And rounding out the season of everything, the summer season at the PC Open at Almost Basin. Last three events of the season, lots of points on the line. The top 10, the top 20 is as tight as it's ever been, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get our hosts, our friends, first and foremost, coming to us live from a Tesla somewhere in San Antonio.
What's up, MD?
Brad Gilbert, how are you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. I'm gonna try to not be distracted from my son's soccer practice, but yeah, doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, it's I got to hit some golf balls today, which was nice. And get some practice in. That felt right. Hadn't hit golf balls in a little bit. So got some practice. It was
108 degrees outside.
Once you have the first heat stroke, the rest of them just
yeah, that's true.
They don't really get you that much afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude, we got playoffs. We got three big events, and then in playoffs, I don't have time to trying to recover. But shit, man, we got to go practice. We got to get the reps in.
Yep. Go get it.
Biggest three events of the season. Brad Gilbert currently in second place.
Let's go
in the point standings.
The only thing I'm thinking of is Steven Evans coming for you, man.
I think about Steven Evans a lot.
Yeah.
And I really wish it had something to do with golf, but it's just because it's Steven Evans. Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. We'll talk a little bit about Brack, the rest of the rounds coming up. I want to pick your brain a little bit just in regards to how you're prepping under that situation and sitting in the top three, because obviously that changes your perspective for sure. These last three events. But before we do all that, we are, of course, going to welcome tour president, founder, the host with the most, the man who lives in a world of just fantasy. No one believes in the impossible more than Travis, because he asks us to do it a lot. Welcome, as always, Travis Silkowski.
There he is.
I certainly live in a fantasy world somewhere between in the 6 inches between these two ears. Certainly. But what up, MD? Thank you for that awesome rock star intro. I'll have to put some more emojis in the next email because of it. Brad Gilbert, good evening. Live soccer practice. I love it.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for joining us this evening.
Glad to be here.
We had a comment from Jeffrey Warren. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance.
Jeff is just saying he's already working out his formula to get ready for me and Brad at Monster Day.
We are already. Jeff Warren is already prepping Monster Day 2025. Fun fact: the 2025 schedule is being finalized as
Pretty
we
close.
speak. The executive tour committee is working hard with the Alamo City Golf Trail first to secure the Alamo City Golf Trail division schedule for 2025, and
Nice.
after that, there'll be some huge news to fill in some of those open dates. That is yet to come, I believe. And then, of course, we'll round out the Greater Hill Country Division 2025, and we'll be able to talk about South Texas Match Play Challenge, traveling back to High Meadow Ranch in 2025. 2025 is going to be a cool year. But before that,
back to High Meadow, I didn't think they'd let us go back there. After.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is their home course. They play great. Casey Wade, their PGA professional, is awesome.
We smooshed at that place for sure.
I
Love that course.
I really
Yeah,
like that
nice
place.
course.
I love that
I
course.
really like that place. Fun fact, High Meadow Ranch golf course architect, none other than New Braunfels' very own David Ogren.
Very cool side fact there. We could talk about that a lot. But before we get into 2025 in a few months, we've got 2024 to talk about, and we've got a season or a division, even better word, a division has wrapped up. And that means playoff invites, a final event to recap. The tour visited Lost Pines this past weekend for the first time. Super awesome facility. I love it there. Definitely feeling the heat. The course conditions were at Lost Pines a little bit.
That golf course, I don't know what it is about that golf course, but like it always feels, it somehow manages to feel a couple of degrees hotter.
When you get on that back nine, deep in that back nine now, and it used to be the whole back nine. It used to be hole 12 through 18 was down in the valley. Now it's just
Like
what is
14
that,
or
17
15?
and 18? Just those last two holes?
17, 18. You count 16 a little bit too, because now you're in that, there's still that kind of valley of sorts.
Yeah, so that whole back stretch down there gets pretty humid down in the holler. But MD wrapping up a division. Playoff invites have been sent out. Check your email. We'll talk more about that. But MD first up on the list is Lost Pines, eh?
Yeah, let's talk. So I was obviously not in attendance at Lost Pines. I was at home on dad duty while Cindy was getting out of town for a couple of days and getting some time to herself, away from my craziness and from a 4-year-old who seems to just be turning into a 16-year-old at the moment.
Yeah, be careful. I got an 11-year-old who thinks she's 11, and it's crazy.
She literally was standing outside the office doors and was going like this to me.
And mine's going to be 15 in like 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
But anyways, I was on daddy duty. I was at home watching Golf Genius, following along. Wanted to see how some of my buddies were doing and make sure the golf course was as challenging as we know it to be.
Oh, it's played hard, and the wind picked up a touch too in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
I mean, it's tough enough. I mean, Travis and I mean, once we get towards the off season and even towards the beginning of the season when we have some extra weekends, I mean,
that's a go-to place. We play there often.
That's our go-to.
Yes,
we play there a lot.
That's why I was so excited to get it on the Greater Hill Country Division schedule, because I enjoy playing it, and it's really a different golf course each time you go. The green complexes are so big, and but it's so fair. It's this controversial statement right now, coming off of the weekend at Lost Pines and the scores kind of the way they were, but Lost Pines is an easy course to get the ball in play on off the tee box.
Yes.
The fairways are very, very, very fair. What you see is what you get. There's only
The 2 holes now, 14 and 15 on the backside, are quirky, but you can still see it.
You can still see it. And I mean, even that being said, I mean, the golf course itself, and now especially with having the 10th through 14th being brand new,
yes
to the golf course too. I mean, that course, I mean, as many times as we've played it, I mean, to your point, it never plays the same way twice. Scoring is always a bit of a trick out there, and especially if you're playing it, you know, that course can get long real quick with the wind.
Yes, heck yeah. And then the tee boxes were maybe short on some of the more difficult holes, so all of a sudden you now have to pay attention. You know, you can hit driver through the fairway if it's downhill downwind on 9. You could that left side sneaks up fast. But
I will comment on the new 4 holes. Renovating golf courses is very difficult. Renovating course, it's just difficult, and to do just a segment,
It's tough to do it if you don't have to move earth. It's super tough when you have to move earth.
yes, and when you don't close and things like that. But renovating a golf course is tough. Everybody's a critic, right? Nothing goes according to plan. Nothing is on budget. Expenses are crazy as hell. Whatever and what have you. But to get a renovation right, like the back 9 at Riverside, I would call the back 9 at Riverside getting that right. They made a change, and the change feels seamless.
I agree.
Right?
It does. Yeah.
That's the way those 4 holes at Lost Pines feel. They renovated 4 holes in the middle of the damn golf course, and it feels flawless.
I mean, I remember just driving by it every time while it was still under construction. I remember the last time we went out there, maybe a couple of weeks before it opened, and we could finally really get a good look of 14. And you're like, oh shit.
And I like that backstretch on the old Wolf Dancer was great. There was a par 3 back there. The old 17 was great.
Those last 3 holes are
that
as tough a
big
finishing,
par 4
as
with
tough a
3.
final 3 you can get.
I agree completely.
But the first time we played those 4 new holes
and finished on what used to be the first par 5 on the back 9, it felt like putting in the 18th hole flag.
Yeah.
Right away. The first time it just felt right. And man, to get a renovation like that right, I think it's such a cool facility. It's such a cool track. The hotel is really nice. It's bougie and expensive, but it's really nice. The food and beverage there is cool. If you need a weekend getaway with the spouse and are looking for something that's only an hour and a half away from San Antonio, 2 hours away from the west side with the Casterville Hondo guys, but Hyatt Lost Pines and Lost Pines Golf Club, what a cool place for a Friday, Saturday night. I mean, I think it's a must. I think the food and beverage is phenomenal. There's tons of stuff. There's a little, I don't want to call it a water park because it's not really a water park.
The lazy river.
But there's a lazy river with some
That's
cabanas and a couple pools. I mean, it's a really nice facility. So if you ever get a chance to go up there and check it out, it will be on the Greater Hill Country Division schedule next year for sure. What position on that schedule? To be determined yet, but it will be. It was a great value. I mean, their rack rate's over $200, and our tournament entry fee was what, Brad? 150, 151, 159.
Yeah, I don't remember exact, but it's right around there.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 150.
Very reasonable. Very reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, we'll talk about top 10. We kind of knew top 10 a little bit, or the winner of the season was kind of locked in at that point, for having such a great season and not having everyone play every single event as it's getting built up more. I think I still think it's a good place to go finish out next year. I think that's as tough an 18 holes as that we're going to go have a stroke play event on. And what a place to do it when the points are on the line and when it means something.
We are really close to teasing the Greater Hill Country schedule for 2025, and that probably could happen
Pretty quick after the TPC playoffs.
Nice. Okay.
So really, I mean, obviously didn't get to see Lost Pines, but yeah, I mean, scores made it seem like it was playing a little bit tougher, and with heat and wind, I can only imagine.
It was hot that day. It was hot.
I'll tell you from my perspective. This was the second time I played it, and the first time I played it, we played from the tips, and it was probably like 30 mile per hour wind.
Welcome to Lost Pines.
Yeah, and it was the greens were lightning fast, and so when we played on Sunday, it was one tee up. The wind. We talked about the heat, but at the start of the round, we were the first tee time out. And start of the round, there was absolutely no wind.
It was just dead calm. Brad is
right.
It
absolutely
was
calm.
Dead calm.
And it was so stifling.
That's super nice.
Like Jason Cross would say, it was so still you could hear a mouse fart.
Exactly.
And
the humidity was just insane. And I mean, I hit like 4 balls on the range, and I'm dripping sweat, like just nonstop.
Easy to get loose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was afraid I wasn't drinking enough water, to be honest with you. But then, like Travis said, the wind picked up, and even though we're playing from a tee box up, it really showed its teeth. And it's crazy because I was playing with Seth and Jeremy and Hunter, and I know Seth and Jeremy, that was their first time playing the course. And I'm like, how in the world are you guys playing? I mean, they're great golfers, obviously, but they played really great playing the first time on that course. And I don't understand.
Well, because you hit the ball. You hit the ball a ways, but maybe they're in the fairways.
Not that day.
And maybe in that case, they're holding back just a little bit. They're being maybe just a scotch more reserved because they don't know. I don't know.
I think that's exactly it. I think you can either go to a new golf course every time we travel. These courses I haven't played in a year, or these 2 years, or it's something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I always play better at those courses than I ever do on a trail course. And I think it's because you visually...
I'm laying up to a number.
The trail courses, you've played the trail courses so many times that you kind of get lackadaisical about your approach to go play it. Getting out on this golf course...
That's such a great point. I played a practice round up there with Casey and Kacheski, and I got a chance to play on Saturday afternoon. And we played 6 holes from the middle tees, 6 holes from the front tees, and 6 holes from right foot rough. And all of a sudden, you get to that middle tee in a place and you're trying to carry 2 creeks around the corner, right? And you're exactly right. When you go into a place like that or traveling to a new place, and all of a sudden you're focusing just a little bit more on where you're missing rather than just taking it for granted because So that's really good. That is high level elite insight from our host tonight, everybody. That was on point, MD. Wow.
Yeah, for real. But it was so funny because, man, they were they were missing in the right spots. So, like I said, they played really well. But, man, it was almost the opposite in that it seemed like they were swinging so freely. They were consistently at least 50 yards in front of me on every single drive. And, of course, I was, guiding it the whole way around, even though I knew kind of where to hit it. I mean, I was.
And then I would also like to shout out Brad's ability to just come back after blatantly being interrupted for 2.5 minutes, not skip a beat, and continue with the exact same story. The podcast crew is on point tonight. And then what made it even better is that MD's dad chimes in, making fun of him that it's the first time he did something right in a minute. I mean, it couldn't get better than this. I mean, that's amazing. Thank you.
I'm learning as I go.
Cyberbullying is not a joke, Stephen DeManuelian.
Interrupted again. I like it, Casey.
I'm gonna freaking tell mom. Lost Pines. Let's talk about our winners.
I
Yeah.
would love it.
Let's discuss those guys because those guys had to play a little bit. Had to play some good golf.
Brad, you want to do it? I mean, you got a chance to talk to those guys down the stretch and in the winner's circle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I guess we can start with Champ Flat. All right, let's do. What do you want to start with, MD? Do you have the pictures ready? Or do you want me to?
There are two flights. Dealer's choice.
I know. Good point.
50-50.
Let's do first flight net. First flight net. So first flight net with a score of 7 under is none other than Sam Castilleja. I think we have his picture. Do we have his picture?
We do not. There might have been some errors.
Oh,
no.
really?
I am reviewing something very quickly. If one of you would like to talk.
Oh,
Sure,
terrific.
yeah.
We're talking. Sam
so-
Castilleja dominates first flight net again. There he is.
Okay, I got
There he
it.
is.
I didn't screw up.
Yeah.
I didn't screw up. I just
That
we know you
is
didn't.
2 wins for MD tonight, everybody.
Yeah. So I know Sam has been playing well this throughout the Hill Country Division season, and yeah, he closed it out with a 3-shot victory on the net side, beating out none other than Bob North. So really good playing there. Really good playing, Sam. And then on the first flight gross side, shooting a 4 over 76, a 1-shot lead over Bob North is Jeff Kotlarczyk.
That is awesome. I love Bob North, but it's certainly nice to give victory cookies to some other folks.
Exactly.
on the
Honestly,
Hill Country Division.
sometimes I've just used the exact same picture of Bob for this.
Yeah, over and
It's
over.
the same
Yeah.
picture, same cookie every week because I just don't want to deal with updating it every single time.
Right.
The STX Am Tour newsletter committee has always used the new photo.
That is correct. I can confirm that because it's not something I work on.
Yeah. Except for that one time.
Except for that one time.
Yeah. All right. So again, Bob North second gross with the score of 5 over. Second place. In third place was Charles Merrow, my partner this season on the Hill Country Division. So yeah, that was first gross, first flight. Jeff Kotlarczyk.
I mean, I don't care who you are, whether you're first flight or champ flight. I mean, that's a pretty respectable score.
Absolutely, 76 on that. 76 on that course. That's pretty nice.
I don't know what his handicap is, but I mean, that's a good score.
Really good playing.
What was he net?
He was playing to an 8, which was a 4 under 68. He would have lost the net scorecard to Bob North and finished third net.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're pretty right on the money.
Yeah.
That's solid playing.
That's very solid.
And he came in and he was hyped to beat Bob North.
Trav, do you have his scorecard in front of you on
I
Golf
am
Genius?
looking at his net scorecard. I can look at his.
I just want to know, like, okay, you shot 4 over. That's pretty solid. I'm curious, was it like birdies and hamming and egging with birdies and bogeys, or did he?
Look at his scorecard right now. The model of consistency, Jeff Kotlarczyk.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm asking.
4 pars to start the day. Then bogeys on the difficult par 5 fifth, and
That is
the
a long hole.
signature par 3 to that front flag,
Ooh.
flag stuff. Par on 7, bounce back on 7, bogey on 8, par on 9, 3 over 39.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, 4 over. That means he had a good back nine.
Yeah.
Bogeyed number 10. 10's just a tough hole if you've never
10
seen
is hard.
And then he got that back with his lone birdie of the day on the very difficult par
Really?
5 13.
Oh, 13. I thought. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, that's a really good birdie there.
Yes, coming over that hill
For some reason, I always hit the ball
Too far left there.
and my second shot is always 10, 15 paces too far left, and I'm in under that tree line, and it sucks.
Just
So that's
Yeah.
a great
on the
Easy to
right, the
do.
right edge of that fairway or the right edge of the bunker on the left-hand side is
Yeah.
the target line.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then a little blemish to end, a bogey on 18 to shoot 1 over on the back 9. So that is 3 over, 1 over, 76. Those numbers
that
don't
is-
lie. That's solid.
That's
Very
pretty good.
solid.
That's a really I really like that score on the back 9. That's that's a tricky. I think. I mean, there's a few holes back there that you can easily turn into a bogey or worse. But to make some solid pars in that finishing kind of stretch there is friggin' really, really cool. So congrats. Good win to you, sir.
Very good playing.
Wow, Jeff Kotlarczyk getting some podcast time tonight. You know who we didn't talk a lot about in First Flight?
Bob North.
Woo! Beep. Bob North. Love you, Bob North.
Yeah. Can't win them all, Bob. But you can try. I know he's going to come in hot for the playoffs, so we'll wait to talk about
Yeah,
him. then.
we'll talk about him a lot when we get to the point standings here in a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bob will get his time.
Exactly. All right, so now let's move over to the champ flight. Man, some of these guys, man, I don't know how they played so well. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So number one, first place on champ flight net is none other than Dustin Weldon.
Woo!
There he is.
He wins all these cookies, but he puts on no weight.
Yeah, right. I mean, just like Jeff Kotlarczyk, man, it's just a picture of consistency on this card. There's just no big numbers.
That was winning a scorecard playoff.
That's right.
Over Sean Vidal.
That's right.
Which actually had, which was a
emotional.
flipperino in the point standings. So it
Mm.
listen, it looks minuscule right now on paper, but it could mean something. It's certainly something that's going to be interesting to talk about.
And
For sure.
I mean, Dustin, I think is not that he's underrated because everyone knows he's a good golfer, but I feel like we talk a lot about Jaramillo, we talk a lot about Seth. I don't think Weldon always gets the love he deserves for his game. And maybe the out of the three, I might even make a strong argument to say he's the steadiest hand of those three.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Dustin is like that, that Cinderella story in the basketball tournament, right? Like a 7 or a 10 seed that upsets the 2 seed in a couple rounds. And, he closes awesome when he needs to close. The way he crescendos between him and Steven Evans, the way they ramp
do
up,
some big shit at big times.
Yes, the way they ramp up through the playoffs. I remember a couple years ago. This is many years ago now. Dustin Weldon, pictured on screen here, won the PC Open back when it was at Cedar years ago. This 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was, and he asked me on Thursday of that week, can I do this? What do I need to do? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you need a flight win or a name on the jacket. And he named on the jacket, and it put him in third place for the summer season. And he went on and won 2 matches in the match play tournament that year. And he closes when he needs to close. Other than that, it's just super even keel. And it's just high bombs. I love his golf swing.
And if you haven't seen it, or you need to get a better understanding of what we're saying on the man's a closer, check out the match play challenge video we produced.
It's
Global
yes,
Fairway.
absolutely. It is absolutely
Dustin-
still on Facebook.
Dustin and I were partnered. We were doing a pretty good job of keeping each other in the match, our first match, and we were both kind of saving each other when we needed to. And we got to the 18th hole. It came down to 18, and Dustin and I had two similar kind of shots. I had a little chip. He had a putt. My chip nearly went in. It's about a 30, 40-foot chip. And it went right over the ball of Dustin. So he got a little bit of a read off, and he spent some time on it. And he drained the sickest putt I have ever seen caught on camera.
The video clip is in the opening podcast
It is in the open
intro.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that putt, 40 feet as the sun setting on the 18th hole, was to win the match by 1. And it was just
Dead center.
he just walked it in. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
It was the most it was the coldest reaction to it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Clutch. Between Stephen Evans and Dustin Weldon, I love the way they crescendo through the playoffs into the match play tournament.
Yeah.
It's rock star.
Yeah, it's borderline unfair that he can hit the ball that far and putt that good and chip that good, and he's just an overall solid player.
And he-
so really
and he
good
just-
playing, Dustin.
It's the quiet ones, man. That dude just
Yeah.
quietly goes about it.
Yeah,
I think match play challenge. I was playing a lot with him leading up to it, just getting paired. And then he and I were partners, and I talked to him, and I'm like, I don't think I've heard you talk this much. He gets for a guy who stays quiet, and when he's excited though, but when he's pumped. Dustin loves match play.
I do.
Yeah.
And Jeremy commented on it in the comments right there.
From somebody here commenting on Dustin Weldon has the best swing on tour.
Jeremy Jaramillo's swing is pretty doggone sexy too.
So
Jeremy.
to get a compliment like that to Dustin Weldon, I
do love Dustin Weldon's golf swing. I love how high his hands are, and it's just so much speed, so much width, and the launch angle. I love that. As little spin and as long in the air as we could keep it. Is the metric for me, and that just is Dustin Weldon's freaking game. I love it's just like a 17.5-degree launch angle, 130 apex, 312 in the air. I just love it.
and before we get to the Champ Fight growth side, I just want to comment on Jeremy's comment. I played with him and Seth on Sunday. And, I've been struggling with my swing lately, and all day I got to watch Jeremy Jaramillo with his technically perfect swing, and it made me realize, oh, that was what I was working on. There was one thing that I just kept seeing over and over him doing, and I was like, oh, that's what I was missing. So I was pretty excited to get to the range and see if that actually worked.
Here's a weird fun fact. This is awesome. I followed Jeremy around a ton at the Match Play Challenge last year. I love his golf swing.
Yeah.
And what he did on Sunday, ripping off 5, 6, 7 birdies in 10 holes, whatever that nonsense was, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But Jeremy's tempo and his pre-shot routine is so in rhythm with the exact frequency of the speed of my brain. So everything of my setup, my routine, I instantly just fell in sync with Jeremy Jaramillo's, and his pre-shot, his step up to his pull the trigger move just was all the exact same tempo that I just work day in and day out with in that fantasy world between the ears.
Yeah.
I always, every time I play with Weldon, I'm like, the only thing missing from my game that would get me right now to where you are is I just need the extra 2 feet.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, it must be. He just kills the ball, and you just kind of sit back and well, I guess if I was 6'4" and could take my arms all the way back, I could do that too.
I will petition the South Texas Match Play Challenge captains to pair MD together with Dustin in the 4-ball, just because the photos would be awesome.
That's awesome.
We have those pictures from last year.
It would be
It's a bad difference.
All right.
Like,
Well, like I s-
I might be sensitive enough. Like, I'll bring a stool.
that's funny. Well, like I said,
I'll Tom
it was
Cruise
fun.
it.
Knees at Dustin's belly button.
Well, like I said, it was fun watching Jeremy and Seth battle it out all day because if it wasn't for the last two holes that kind of bit Jeremy, again, his first time he was playing the course, so it was just a little bit off, and that was what really cost him. But yeah, man, to take first place and shoot an impressive 1 under is Seth Henry on the championship flight first gross. I mean,
Bro's just a stud.
it was just fun to watch, man. And like there was a couple times where he was, he'd get in trouble, and it was like he was so confident that he was going to get out of it, right? And he'd hit a good recovery shot that I never saw a stressful moment from Seth the whole round.
I mean,
And
it was a really cool leaderboard to watch too.
yeah,
A little smaller field, so I got a chance to kind of hang out on the golf course a little bit. Say I was marshaling and watch some golf, but there was several different moments where Seth was in the lead, Dustin Weldon was in the lead for a minute. I think there was a moment where
Dustin was making a run towards the end.
for sure.
Absolutely. There was a moment where Danny Lee was in the lead. There was a moment where Jaramillo was in the lead. And it was a really cool leaderboard to watch down the stretch.
I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Jeremy would have shot 2 or 3 under. I mean, he was playing that well. He just got some bad breaks on the last 2 holes, or he would have pushed Seth all the way. So yeah, that was a really fun battle to watch.
Those are two guys that absolutely, like, they can go to a course like that and not worry about it because they just trust their swing.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's just as consistent as it gets. Must be nice.
Yeah. So really good playing to everyone. I know I didn't play well at all, and I was just trying to stay out of the way of these guys. But like I said, it was fun to watch.
Brad Gilbert ripped off the solid 84.
There you go.
Certainly,
I thought we said we weren't going to mention that, but that's okay.
I do want to talk. I do need to ask about Casey's. I know he had an 80 with a quad and 3 doubles.
There was a moment there before the quad where Casey was like, "I can win this."
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I was looking and I'm like, is that a 9? Like, there were a couple of people who had, like, there were 9s and 8s, and
we got to talk about this for just a second because this is great. I know Casey's in the comments. There it is, right there. He just made a comment in there right now. That's what we're going to talk about. This might be the best scorecard ever. Casey Graham, even par after 1. Bogeys 3, bogeys 4, bogeys 2, bogeys 3, birdies 4, the hardest par 3 on the property.
Back to 1 over.
Feeling good. Maybe checking the leaderboard. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's interesting. Yeah.
9 on hole number 5.
Ouch.
Fights back, par.
Yeah.
Getting the track
Double
back.
bogeys 9.
Oh.
Double bogeys 10.
Ooh.
Birdies 11. Birdies 12.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Doubles 13.
Gives it right back.
Bogeys 14.
Oh, God.
Birdies 15. Birdies 16. And then par 17, 18 shoots 1 over on the back nine.
Talk about 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, right?
Man, living the critical path flow chart of his emotions during this round.
That's exactly
brutal to follow.
I would have loved to have had, like, the whoop band on him or something like that and just gone back and looked just to see where his heart rate was at.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. I would love, I almost wish Casey would pop on right now so we could talk about how,
that'd be awesome.
At some point it turned to beers. There he is in the comments. But man, 11, what an amazing Wow, an amazing scorecard for Casey Graham.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic. It's
It
such
was
a
out
good,
there. Big
it's
numbers were out
such a
there
good
for sure.
comeback. I mean, I saw him. I saw doubles, triples, and quads on scorecards. I was like, of course, just playing just super hard today. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But I mean,
And it was in one of those. It was in one of those states where it was fine. It was the conditions of the golf course were perfectly fine, but the greens were a little slower than normal.
A little bit. Yeah.
Right, so you had to bang them, and some of the putts
That we all think at Wolf Dancer that would
trickle and turn 90 degrees to the left, and then trickle a little bit more, and then turn 90 degrees to the right, and blah blah. Like
Yeah.
9, like the front of 9. That was slow on that corner from the fringe onto the green. That's normally glass.
yeah.
So it was a little. It was a struggle to adjust to the course conditions. I think, and then it was hot and it was windy, and it's not a course that a lot of tour golfers play a lot,
Yeah.
and it was the proverbial 5-hour grind.
Yeah.
But
congratulations to the winners.
Congrats
And that was
to
the
winners.
final event, the 6th and final event.
of the 2024 Greater Hill Country Division, from Kissing Tree this past March through Fort Sam, Olympia, River Crossing, and Lost Pines. Did I miss any? Was that only 5?
The Bandit that I didn't.
The Bandit, and I missed the
El
Bandit.
Bandito.
6 events,
Mhm.
over 100 unique golfers played in those 6 events, averaging in the mid 40s for field size. A fabulous first go run at a brand new division, and off of the Alamo City Golf Trail for the first time. And I think that those would be the comments. It was cool to be somewhere new.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. Yeah, it was amazing.
But that leads us to playoff invites and a final point standings, MD.
And here they be.
Woo! This is the final 2024 South Texas Amateur Golf Tour Greater Hill Country Division point standings. Following event number 6, the top 72 in final point standings received a playoff invite this past Monday. Check your email, check your spam, check everywhere. If you're in the top 72, you received an invite. There are 48 spots. We had 15 qualifiers on the first night, reply and RSVP. So spots going fast. If you qualified, check your email.
In 10th place, playing in 4 events, Hunter Patterson. Playing in 5 events, in 9th place and 8th place, respectively, Casey Graham and Rick Hoinsey. Playing in every event on the Greater Hill Country Division, Micah Carroll. That is tour partner Cairo Services, Micah Carroll, for all your land improvement needs. Playing in 5 of the 6 events, on camera with you tonight, Sir Bradley Gilbert.
Yeah.
You got
Sickness is
knighted?
no effect. What's that?
Tied for 4th place, playing in 5 and 6 events, respectively, Danny Lee and Seth Henry, T4. And your top 3, playing in 5 of 6 events, missing just the River Crossing event, Sean Vidal. And in 1st and 2nd place, playing in all 6 events, the victory cookie at Lost Pines, propelling Sam Castilleja, leapfrogging Sean Vidal for 2nd, and Bob North just too much to catch the first ever regular season Greater Hill Country Division champion, Bob North.
Wow.
Good
That's
job, Bob.
win-win 3rd place, win-win 2nd place.
Mm.
That's
Fabulous
that's
season,
a
Bob
pretty
North.
damn impressive run.
Bob North, everybody. We are still planning on having Bob North on the podcast at some point. MD, is that correct?
That is correct.
One of these off weekends leading into the off weeks leading into the Hill Country playoffs, which is only the next two. So check your emails. Playoff invites are out. STXAmtour.golf on the point standings page is where there is a link to the playoff qualifiers. That is the only place on the website. Every playoff qualifier has it in their email, but the only place on the website to get to the Greater Hill Country Division playoff info is on the point standings page right next to the final point standings. Can't miss it. It's bold. It's green. You cannot miss it. Bob North, everybody. Brad Gilbert, what was it like hanging out and seeing Bob North on these 6 golf courses? I know you missed the Bandit.
Yeah.
But what was it like competing with not only the golf game that Bob has brought recently, because his ball striking's solid.
Yeah.
But what's it like hanging out with his personality? Because he's a fun-loving character.
Yeah, Bob's a good dude, but I will say a lot of those wins came from team events, so I'm pretty sure his partner carried them for the most part.
Good
No,
Lord.
actually, I don't want to get him worked up because I don't want him to have more ammunition going into the playoffs. So,
Bob North has
yeah,
entered the
he's a
chat.
great guy. Really like Bob. But no, seriously, he like he just played so consistently. Obviously, I feel like if I wasn't sick and I was able to play the Bandit, me and Charles would have whooped his butt. But I mean, that's just you never know. You never know. But no, yeah. So I know it was funny because at Lost Pines, handing out the cookies and everything, when I went to announce the winners, it was almost like he got up out of like he was used to getting up and getting a cookie. I was like, nope, not this time, Bob. But no, he played well. I mean, all season, dominant performance, probably Scotty Scheffler-ish, I guess we could say. But it is really cool because the way that the playoffs are set up with the points resetting and everyone having a chance, I mean, I'm really excited to play against him in the playoffs. So really looking forward to that.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And and BG is correct. Points reset. There's a formula to give you a starting playoff points. So if you qualified for the playoffs on the Greater Hill Country Division, Bob North is not out of reach. He is right there. Grab him, pull him down a few rungs, leapfrog him, let him battle back and have a good battle to the death down the stretch.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Bob. Watch out.
I got real fast.
I got super serious. I was afraid a little. All right. So let's push forward real quick as we're rounding out the evening. What do we have coming up this weekend, Brad Gilbert?
So this weekend, pretty excited. We got Brack stroke play.
Woo!
So
Registration closed today.
yeah, registration's closed. Obviously, you can email the wait list if you still want to get in. I'm planning on doing a practice round probably late Friday, early Saturday maybe. And according to Scott Williams, Brack is in really great shape. So really excited for Brack.
I love Brack down the summer stretch.
Yeah.
When the leaves are completely as big as they possibly can be, and number 7 feels as narrow as possible. And I love Parkland's golf, and I love Brackenridge Park. So yes, registration closed. BG sneaking in a practice round. Will you beat Brad Gilbert? Woo!
No, probably not. I'm coming prepared this time. I'm coming off 2 weeks sick, and no, I'm planning on taking down Steven Evans, Jeremy, Seth. I mean, watch out, guys. I'm coming.
Hey, I'm here too.
wow, the I don't even know what to say. I was gonna say the gauntlet has been laid, but I mean that's way beyond a gauntlet. You know.
You know, like
Wow.
I think I
At least
said it
you're
last
humble.
podcast. Well, I think I said it last podcast. More than anything, I'm trying to convince myself that's the case because
Yeah, don't show
you
up
know
for second place, bro. I love it.
exactly, exactly.
Great. I love it.
And the first 2 or 3 years that I made the playoffs, this was the time of year that I played my way out of it, right? And I played my way off the team in the playoffs. So you know, I'm I'm tired of doing that. So I'm coming prepared this time.
And we
Hey,
are knee deep in the home stretch of the Alamo City Golf Trail Division. Event number 6 on the summer season just closed today. First notice to players tomorrow. Second notice to players Friday. Course setup committee at Brackenridge Park on Sunday for the last time in the regular season. First tee time 9 a.m. Sunday. ACGT Division Summer Event number 6. And then Summer Event 7 and 8 open for registration. Alt Shot at Northern Hills open for registration. And the 36-hole 2-day event at Olmos Basin, the PC Open Championship. Another battle for a jacket open for registration. ACGT Division in the home stretch. Brad Gilbert and the aforementioned Stephen Evans separated by the thinnest of margins, everybody down the stretch. Brad Gilbert practicing, Brad Gilbert playing practice rounds, Brad Gilbert putting in his underwear in his bedroom, doing everything he possibly can to track down the man, the myth, the legend, the pride of Wales, Stephen Evans.
So, I forgot to put the tape over the camera, so you saw that, huh? But it's crazy because Jason Bird at number 10, that's only what 140 points off of first place. Is my math correct there? Yeah,
that
140
is
points.
correct.
I mean, it seems like this is the tightest top 10 that I remember. I don't know.
And
I believe
I
it is.
think-
MD was talking about that just a day ago. That
we were talking about that this morning.
oh, was
Mm.
that this morning?
Yeah, feels like a day ago.
Yes. But yes, it is. It's the tightest. I mean, it's so in a double points event. That's just a couple positions. It's third gross to fifth net. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were talking when we were talking about it. This top 10 right now. It's you got a mix of some people that have been in the top 10 going down the stretch. People who've been in the top 3 before and had to hold it. People who've been in the top 3 and lost out. So it'll be interesting to see how the new people to that top 10 are going to play over the next couple of weeks, coming down the stretch here, knowing that there's a little bit more pressure on the line there.
Yeah, there's some big jumps after Willow Springs. Matt Kawamoto, Charles Clark, MD is on that list for the first time in a minute.
Yeah. My partner.
Yeah.
I finished in top 10 in the spring.
Yeah, so it's been a minute.
Yeah, I get hot down the stretch.
Hot down the stretch.
Your
Whee!
closer.
I love it.
But yeah, no, and like we said it before, but obviously everybody on this list is a tough competitor that's not going to back down. So I mean, if I'm in second, but man, it could easily jump, off the top 10, the next event or two, because I know these guys aren't going anywhere. So just got to keep with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's going to be a grind down the stretch for everybody. I mean, it's going to be tough golf courses, tough competition. a lot of people who have been here before and kind of know what that takes. And I think there's a lot of new names that we might see on the team this year, just looking at how some of these players are performing. So
I was chit chatting with BG about that. Any one of those names in the top 10 on the Greater Hill Country Division playoff roster would be dynamic adds to the STMPC team. I'm so excited, and this is such a cool statement. I'm so excited to bring guests to Riverside. Like, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to captain this team at Riverside. Riverside's the course I've played the most this year. I love that back nine. I walk that back nine a lot, and I really, really love it. And I'm so excited to captain this team. And you're right. The top 10 on the trail division, BG, is stout. Is any one of those golfers can put up a low 60 net score at any given time from any flight on any trail division course. So I think it's going to be super tight, and super tight in the regular season leads to super tight playoff starting points, leads to super tight cut lines, and super heartbreak in the horse race.
For sure.
And I just think it's shaping up to be one of the most dramatic summer finishes we've had in a while.
Yeah. If this top 10 does what they can do, does what we know they can do as far as some low scores, and they're all winning and we're all seeing some, this is going to get, I mean, potentially, and I will have to go back to Casey on it, maybe one of the tightest finishes we'll ever see.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm excited down this stretch.
And speaking of dramatic finishes, MD, I got anything else tonight?
I do not.
What a cool Wednesday night. What a great Power Hour podcast. We have been live for 59 minutes and 20 seconds. So really good job. Great show tonight. MD, you always ask us what our final thoughts are, and I feel like we so rarely loop back to you. So why don't you go first tonight? Final thoughts, MD. It is August the 21st, 8:29 p.m. MD, everybody.
One, Bob North, amazing golf, amazing playing. Continue to kick some ass. Man, last 3 events down the stretch. It's so tight. It's going to be so much fun. Really, really good golf. Excited to see how people handle the pressure. And just a beautiful night. Beautiful weekend. We're going to play Brack. It's a good time to be alive.
Amen.
BG, let's turn the dial over to BG, everybody. B, still the same old G, Brad Gilbert. Closing thoughts, August 21st. It is now 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, my closing thought is very excited to have made the playoffs on the Hill Country Division. Can't wait to sign up for TPC. So send me that invoice. I'm signing up and I'm ready to play.
Invoices coming to playoff RSVPers. We'll collect that data and get everybody their invoice. The most important thing, Greater Hill Country Division qualifiers, is to reply and RSVP to that email. The second notification email coming tomorrow night to those guys with an updated confirm list. And that will give information on timeliness to RSVP before it moves on to the next group of qualifiers. So that is my closing thought for the night. Greater Hill Country Division competitors, check your emails. RSVP September 7th and 8th. The home of the Valero Texas Open is also the home of the Greater Hill Country Division playoffs. It sounds awesome when you say it like that.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Check your emails. Greater Hill Country Division playoff invites have been sent. Over 100 golfers, 5 flights this weekend at Brackenridge Park. Final 3 events of the Alamo City Golf Trail Division
tightest point standings ever. Oh my God, guys. Thank you so much for watching. MD, take us away, bud.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight, talking. Hope everyone has a good rest of your week. We will see you this weekend at Brackenridge Park for the last stroke play event of the season before we get to the PC Open. Good luck to everyone. Play well, and we will see you this weekend or next Wednesday. Have a good night, everyone.
Play well, guys.